I can't believe it, man. The Timberwolves head into Denver and win game 1. Ooh-wee, it's gonna be a long series as I predicted. I predicted Denver in 6 before the series started. I don't know what I predicted at the start of the playoffs. Well, I predicted Phoenix to get here, so I mean, that's bullshit anyway. But I mean, I would predict Denver against anyone, obviously, since I have them winning the championship. But that was an impressive first game by the Timberwolves, man. Defensively, they, especially in the first 5 minutes, they had everything, for uh, Denver. Starting obviously Towns on Jokic, having Gobert lurk, the rotations they have, they are incredibly lengthy and they make it hard on Denver. And Denver doesn't have pretty much, well, not anyone on the bench, but they have a very inconsistent bench. And obviously, KCP being a little compromised doesn't help. Jamal Murray being a little compromised doesn't help them. And that puts even more pressure on Jokic, who I thought was a little all over the place yesterday. 7 turnovers. Wasn't as efficient as he usually is. Couldn't find his 3-ball. Obviously, he's still at 32, 8, and 9, but it wasn't the usual Jokic game. Whether it was Towns on him, whether it was Naz Reid on him, whether it was Gobert, even though he put Gobert in the basket a lot. And that's probably his favorite matchup when it's Gobert, simply on him and not helping off of him. Anyway, it is certainly, the Nuggets feel like they might not have enough urgency at times, especially early on in these games where it feels like they just lack the urgency, like I say, even though they went on like a 21 to, what was it? 21 to 3 run. So there's that. And Reggie Jackson had a great first quarter. So if Reggie could be able to give you something off the bench, that would be huge, obviously. Christian Brown was also really solid. And Justin Holiday was a plus 19 in his minutes. But they're going to need to hit shots, obviously. And that's not even their biggest problem. We expect MPJ, Jamal Murray, KCP, and Aaron Gordon to get some things going offensively eventually. But defensively, nobody could guard Anthony Edwards at all. And they might have to start sending double teams at him, honestly. Because Jamal Murray couldn't stay in front of him, and Ant-Man was giving it to Jamal. On the other hand, also, that's where the calf injury for Jamal might play a huge role. Because he once again no-showed in the first half, was not great, but was really good in the second half. And now here you go with what is Ant-Man on the other hand, who's just blowing by everybody, because obviously KCP is the best defender they have, and he's been sensational the whole year, but he's playing on a bad ankle. So that obviously impacts you so much defensively against an explosive athlete like Anthony Edwards, who's playing with the most confidence, with the most Michael Jordan aura we've seen since Michael Jordan, if I were to say, or something like that. I guess Kobe is that, right? But you get the point, obviously. And they have 3 people to guard Jokic that are huge. That's obviously nice. And they, obviously you can't slow down Jokic, but you can make him a little more inefficient, a little more sped up. And some of it sometimes feels like Jokic, not sure if he doesn't take it too seriously. That's obviously bullshit. But sometimes he can be a little lazy with some of those passes. And it's huge that Karl-Anthony Towns showed up offensively, even though once again he had some really dumb fouls to help Anthony Edwards. And you obviously had Mike Conley, who's had a bad first round, show up in the second half in this series. And he could be the X factor with his 3-pointers and his, I would say, stabilizers for this Timberwolves team. What MPJ usually did against the Lakers, where he always hit a 3-ball or hit a shot when they needed it, Mike Conley did today to the Nuggets for the Timberwolves, in my opinion. And Naz Reid was sensational in that fourth quarter also. He did his thing. I was, after the first half, I was going to say, man, Naz Reid needs to step it up, because he's been really awful these playoffs so far. And he continued the trend in the first half, but he did turn it up in the fourth quarter. Sure as hell did. And For the Timberwolves, it's also nice that everyone has their defined role, right? Everyone just stayed within themselves, didn't force it. I thought Rudy Gobert was acting a little different in the first half with some of those shots, but at the end of the day, he hit a fucking bank shot dagger in a way, even though the dagger was eventually the Edwards turnaround fadeaway, but shit was crazy to see. And it's gonna be interesting what the Nuggets do with Anthony Edwards. Aaron Gordon can stay in front of him. Can KCP obviously being hampered, and they might have to send double teams. Will they be able to rotate as efficiently? Do you need more Peyton Watson or Christian Brown? Can they give you something offensively and be effective defensively? Will Jamal Murray be healthy enough and give you more offensively? Can Jokic just carry you and be as efficient? Not turn the ball over. I think this really might be a series where Jokic might need to average pretty much 40, 10, and 10 if they want to win, because I think he's gonna have to be not only the primary scorer, but he has to be a primary scorer. If you get what I'm saying, that sounded stupid, but he has to have the mindset of a primary scorer in this series, in my opinion, the whole time. But that is that. And it's obviously nice that they have Gobert out there. If he denied some lobs to Aaron Gordon, where I was expecting Aaron Gordon to feast a little in that dunker spot, when, with the attention to Jokic. But Rudy Gobert played it so well. So I'm excited for game 2. It's on Monday. We'll see how healthy KCP and Jamal Murray are. Then we obviously have more things to do, man. I mean, if Anthony Edwards keeps this up, which, I mean, he should be able to be more like this, because he was getting whatever he wanted offensively. Mid-range jumpers, getting to the rim, didn't overforce the three-pointers. So I'm excited, man. Obviously, Denver was still in this game, and they got a favorable whistle here. So it's gonna be a dogfight. But for Denver, the biggest problem is they need to find something outside their starting lineup, something consistent, and they need their starters to be as great as they can be. But they have two of those, and both guards, that is, injured in a way. Not obviously injured so they can't play, but they're injured. They're not playing at 100%, which I know everyone is not, but Jamal literally didn't practice, right? We saw KCP's twisted ankle. So it might be tougher, man. And I said it before, I can see Minnesota winning this series. And it seems more and more possible, which I would say opens up more for the Celtics even, because, yeah, the Celtics are looking nice. The Celtics are looking nice, and they have a much clearer path. They should be more healthy, even though we don't know if Porzingis will even play in these playoffs, but he has the time to rest, because I don't think Orlando and Cleveland should give the Celtics much problems. So it feels like it's tailor-made for the Celtics to finally win their title this year, or they have the quote-unquote clear path. So that is that. Anyway, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. Game 7 in 2 hours. Orlando, Cleveland. Make sure to be tapped in. I'm really excited about that. And I'll catch you all later with that shit. As always, be kind to yourself and to others. Keep your morals high. And I'll catch you all then.